Chapter 9, Humiliation. Yes. Tomorrow is the last chapter, chapter 10. Yes. So you'll be free tomorrow. Humiliation is something that played a long role in my life. But the recent ones I can remember happened when I came to Denmark in 2012. I married the children's father because he convinced me that he needed a wife with Jesus. But the days proved the opposite. He wanted me to sell 2 properties I had in Brazil and pay for his old debts, and he would divorce me afterwards. I was a housewife by goodwill. I enjoyed the work at home and time free to create something for others to hear about Jesus too. Nothing to do with a special church or religious practices. Jesus is often labeled as a religious appearance habits, but Jesus marks his presence through an act of forgiveness, purity, compassion, gladness, generosity, and also correction. Everything I used to do for their father in marriage was taken by him, but underrated in his heart. Deep inside, he saw me as the other people around also did. A glad housewife who enjoys to clean, to cook, to build, to garden, ironing, is often judged to be some loser that found no place in high jobs, or simply a lazy person. But that judgment would change if the critics spent a day with me. A woman that enjoys these things has no time to think on herself first. They wake up early, feeds her household, making sure everyone has what is needed for their day. Then she starts preparing the place to receive them at home, prioritizing the household. She has eyes for a person in need too, and gives her best to serve. That costs time, creativity, and money. But a person like that is not valued. It's often humiliated. I was humiliated by the way I dressed. My dresses were not so new because I chose not to stress my husband with money to buy good ones. I preferred to wear what I had and be content with it. Then divorce happened after he declared the real intention of the marriage, and I left the house for him because I wanted him to discover that the house had not the value he thought. The things he thought to have had no real value. I left with the children, a 5 months boy, years old, and a 1.5-year-old girl. I started to be humiliated by other people because they thought I was right if I left 2 little ones the whole day in institutions and went for a job as if it was an easy thing for a foreigner to achieve. I decided to use the money of the property sold in Brazil to feed us better and to clothe the children better, but not let them to stay the whole day in institutions as orphans. I am their mom, not the pedagogues. It is a good thing if the children can have contact with other children and play and do things, but it should exist a balance in it. Why to leave my children sick, with their nose running and dirty, almost abandoned in the sand outside with no pedagogue watching them when I am at home for them? I was humiliated for choosing to give this balance to them. But the humiliation pleasant to go through was the one that the government placed on me. The chain I had on my feet for 2 months and the warning of deportation in case I practiced Proverbs 23. I also received humiliation from my own children when they ask me now, "Why are you calling? I do not care to talk to Mom. Did you finish talking?" "Oh, I have a mom. It is the woman with my father." And while I was hearing those heavy words, I saw what they were wearing, the clothes I bought and the toys I gave. If I did not have given those from the money of my repatriation, they were wearing bigger or smaller clothes with holes and with stains, a sign of products from second-hand shops. I'm not against second-hand shops, as we find very good things for sale too. But what saddens me is the fact that the children has money to buy new things sometimes and proper for their size. But their money is often used on football game bets or lotteries. To be hired for something in Denmark was almost impossible for me. My income was often from what they call it SU. Because I left one school for another, I could not finish a course. The reason of that is to finish it, you must be hired in a place that offers the function of the education you're doing. And the companies mostly prefers a Danish young person instead of a middle-aged woman foreigner. So I changed from career to career just for the income's sake. In schools, foreigners are welcome in admission, but not welcome in their inside groups. Danish colleagues did not sit with me so often. I was the one breaking the ice sometimes, but they were more comfortable among their own. None of these experiences in schools really affected me, because I learned from Scripture the way people think and the way God thinks. So I was aware of possible events related to rejection. Am I still humiliated? Yes. I found myself jobless in my own land, without my children, and with no spouse to share bad and good times, and with an unfinished story of a battle between God versus Danish children's law. But he made a promise in Romans 10:11. As the scripture says, anyone who believes in him will never be put to shame. If he promised, he will do it. So it finishes here, the chapter 9. Tomorrow is the last one, and this time with the good shoes. I don't even have the shoes anymore. It's called He is Able. Okay? Bye-bye.